Hola a todos, welcome back to Blancos Talks Madrid. Back with another show, back with another live innit, just like yesterday. Only this time, I've got a different guest with me, and look who it is, man like Shane. Yeah, what are we saying, Shane? You good, brother?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Looking forward to making my debut on your channel. I've been on streams with you before and errands and stuff like that, and always have a lot of time for you. So yeah, really looking forward to it, man. Really looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on, and big up to everybody in the chat as well. And
Come
yeah,
on, always, man. Yeah, come on, always, man, always. Listen, people. Anyone that doesn't know Shane, he's got his own channel. Yeah, I'm gonna put his link in the description. Yeah, and I'm also gonna try and pin his link. Yeah, in the comment section as well. Yeah, any of you mods in this chat, put his channel link in. Yeah, and we're gonna put in there. Yeah, we're gonna make sure Shane reaches what 2,000 subs now. That's what your target is now. Yeah.
yeah, I'm at about 1,300-ish, I think, at the moment. But yeah,
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. Let's get him up, man. Let's get him up, man. Big up everyone in the chat, man. And Shane, you ready to go? Big up, man. Come on. Make sure you sub, man. I'll pin that, man. I'll pin that. Big up, man. But Shane, you ready to crack the show open, yeah?
100%, man. 100%.
Come on. Obviously, you might have been linked to my to Rodrygo, yeah, one of my players as well a lot. Do you think when we talk about this player now, innit, mate? Do you think there's still a possibility that he comes to club, or do you think he either goes to another club or he stays? Or do you think the Arsenal dream is over to get him, in your opinion?
To be honest with you, I never believed it. I never believed it for a second. I think he's too big.
Oh, you never believed it?
Never believed it. Never believed it. I from the start had said that he's never coming to Arsenal. Never. I do think he'll leave. I think he'll leave all right, but it's not coming to us. If we had any interest in him at all, the Madueke deal wouldn't have been pushed through that quick. They would have kept the money and held on to it. If we're looking to now to have to sell to get Eze, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't even see, even if Rodrygo came out and said that he's free to go. I don't think. I think he's too big a player for Arteta to handle, for one. I don't think Arteta would have wanted him. And it's not like the Gyökeres deal where Berta has gone, well, you're definitely getting a striker. So when Sesko fell through, I'll get you. You're getting Gyökeres, and you'll have to deal with it because you can guarantee that Arteta is gutted that we're after getting that guy, that we're after getting Gyökeres. With the Sesko thing, or sorry, with the Rodrygo thing, I don't think we were ever. I think if anything, Arsenal released or drip fed some of those rumors to get people. We always do this. We always drip feed the best player in the world and end up signing Madueke. You know what I mean? And with the Madueke signing, I think the only other person we'll get that can play out the wing, which he's not a winger, but I know what Arteta's like, will be Eze. If we do get him, Arteta will play him out to the left most of the time, I think, but it'll be fine then for when he's gone. But for Rodrygo, I think it'll be, I can see City just coming to life the second he comes available. That seems like a City thing to do, to suddenly come to life, nip in. I can see Bayern dropping any interest they have in Luis Diaz and Martinelli and going for him. And I could see Chelsea going for him too. But for us, for the number one, for the money, I don't think we have it. And number two, I don't think he'd come. I don't think he'd come. I don't think he'd want to go to Arsenal. I don't think he'd want to go. And, he's one of his biggest problems at Madrid is being played out of position. I mean, that's what Arteta's famous for. Another thing is he doesn't want to come and track back all the time. He's willing to track back. Most players are, but not at the extent that we do it. So for me, if this is the one signing all through my streams that I always say to people, don't get excited about. When people put it up in the chat, oh, look like Rodrygo, don't get excited about it. But I do think he'll leave. If he came to us, I'll be flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted. But I do think he'll leave. I think he needs to. I think both parties need him to go at this stage.
That's fair, but why do you think Arsenal haven't done more work on him? There was, because obviously they had begun talks with him, but now obviously it's stopped. I was saying it was because of the price, but surely if you've got this war chest that everyone says you've got, yeah, you're good within PSR. Are you good within PSR?
Yeah,
you're good with all that. You've got money to spend. Why do you think the club is not willing to spend the money on him when clearly you need a left winger? Because you've said before, Martinelli isn't the same. Trossard possibly ain't going to be good. He might even be gone. So why do you think your club would rather buy Eze and play him as a left winger than buy this guy who ultimately improves your team massively and can get you into title race immediately? What do you think the reason is for that?
For me, it just all comes back to the manager. It comes back to the manager who doesn't want. That's why he didn't want Gyökeres. That's why he wanted Sesko. It's why he's never once in the time he's been at Arsenal, signed a big name forward player. Not once has he signed someone that's going to come in and the jersey sales will fly through the roof and everybody will know exactly where this guy should play, how he should play, how the tactics should be with him. I.e. Gyökeres, which Arteta now is going to have to look at his tactics. He's going to have to look at a way to tweak Gyökeres so he can take credit for him. And with Rodrygo, Arteta's terrified of players like that. Absolutely terrified of players like that.
Why do you think he would be terrified of Rodrygo, in your opinion?
He can't handle him, and he'd be found out. He can't handle big players. If he gets in a player like now, it's going to happen with Gyökeres. It'll unfold all through next season. If Gyökeres is fall off a cliff, which they will, by the way, he'll still score. He just won't get anywhere near what he was getting. Then Arteta will be asked questions about his tactics. He'll be asked, why isn't this guy scoring? How come you? When he does it with a Havertz and he puts him up front, they give him credit. Oh, Havertz scored 14. He's not even a striker. When he does it when he had Jesus, oh, look what he's done with Jesus. Oh, he's not really a goal scorer, false nine, so it's all working. When he puts Martinelli out the wing, look at him, he's a genius. He put Martinelli out the wing. But he's afraid to, if he gets in someone like a Rodrygo, everybody knows what to expect. They're going to expect goals. They're going to expect entertainment. They're going to expect, highlight reels. And none of that will happen with him as manager. You'll still get a few little glimpses because the player's so good. Just like with Gyökeres, you'll still get glimpses. But Arteta, he needs yes men. That's all he has. There's nobody, if you try to pick someone out of that squad that would stand up to him, nobody.
You don't think he can handle big players that are more than
got rid of them all. Got rid of Aubameyang, got rid of Ozil, got rid of Guendouzi, got rid of Martinez. We've had 8 or 9 keepers with him in charge, and he had a potential World Cup winning goalkeeper there. Couldn't handle him. Doesn't want anyone. Came in, all the crowd, all the players, all the pundits just assumed that Kieran Tierney would be our captain. That's why he didn't pick him as captain, because he thought that everybody else.
But if that is the case, would you like the comment is that would you get rid of Martinelli if you had the choice?
I'd get rid of Martinelli for his sake at this stage. He's never going to get back to anything close to what he was with this manager. If I knew for certain that there was a new manager coming at the end of the season, I'd say keep him. But with this,
so you think it's because of the manager? You don't think Rodrygo will come because of the manager?
I don't think Arteta would want them, number one, and I don't think Rodrygo will come. I don't think we're big enough. I don't think we haven't won anything in 5 years. You know what I mean? He's not going to want to come to a team that's not going to win anything. It's not like we can give him massive wage that would just blow everybody else out of the water. We can't do that. You know what I mean? I just don't see it. I've never ever felt that there was anything to this. I just thought Rodrygo's too big. Manager wouldn't want him. If we do sign him, it could take a big chunk out of all the other positions we need. Even though we've made 6 signings with a potential 2 more, we'll still have.
I actually thought the opposite. I agree with this thing right here that UNO says that he's a typical player that can versatile. Do you get me? But the issue, but there was one thing that I was hearing. I don't know if it was you, if it was Carl that said, he said that if he was to buy Rodrygo and Gyökeres in the same or Gyökeres in the same window, in this summer window, he would then have the pressure that he would have to win, and not just a cup. He would have to be one of the major ones. Is that true in your opinion?
Yeah, well, a lot of the stuff that he started laying the groundwork last season when it was clear we weren't going to win anything. Of some people's view of success is different to someone else's view of success. Would some people see finishing second with all these injury successes? So he's already laying the groundwork. All these guys out there, the Tom Cantons and the AFTDs and all, they all do this for him. They lay the groundwork for mediocrity and make out that the journey's fine. And we what we're doing now, they talk like we're Brighton and we've never had it so well, that Arsenal have no history and stuff like that. So it's all being laid for him already. All of this is being laid for him. But with the Rodrygo, he just... people say, yeah, okay, Arteta would like it, but Rodrygo, even if he's not a big personality himself, it's that thing that he's a superstar, and he cannot handle that. He can't handle. Number one, they're bigger than him, which he doesn't like. He doesn't want someone being bigger than him. And number two, like that, it's like that is said. If we have these players in our team, it's going to happen with Gyökeres, regardless if we get Rodrygo. Here's your last piece. This is what he's been living off. This is the last little thing he's been clinging on to. He doesn't say it straight out, but he knows all his minions are out there spreading it that. They always word it. The board needs to get him his striker. Like he wasn't allowed to sign one, right? He hasn't wanted one because that's the last thing he has.
Yeah, you've not signed one for what, 5 years now, something?
Yeah, and that was Jesus. You know what I mean? Like Jesus was the last. It's the only striker he's signed, so-called striker, and he's not a striker. He's never done it. He's gotten rid of them. He got rid of Aubameyang, and even before he got rid of Aubameyang, he started playing him out the left. The year after he got the Golden Boot, started playing him out the left. You know what I mean? So he's allergic to it. And this is the thing that he has now. He doesn't come out and say, he always defends saying we don't need a striker, right? We get goals from here and there and blah, blah, blah. But he knows that everybody else is out there defending them. And when all these Christians and all these lads don't have that anymore, then the only thing left for them is to start saying, right, he has to go if he doesn't win something. Yeah. So I just think that with a Rodrygo, I don't think Rodrygo would personally want to come. And I don't even believe that we went into any form of negotiation with them. I never saw any solid proof of that. I just think that it's these things.
Would you be disappointed? Would you be disappointed if that was to be true? Because I was seeing, obviously, when I was still on Twitter, I had seen a lot of Arsenal fans before that that wanted Arsenal, one of these more positive, Arsenal fans. They wanted Arsenal to go in big. They've said that they are very, very disappointed that Arsenal haven't done more work on Rodrygo, not put a bid in, not being first in line and all that to try and get him. Are you disappointed? Do you agree with that? Are you disappointed yourself that Arsenal have done more work on this player when he's right now available, in your opinion? Because I assume you would love him at your club. I assume you would.
I'd love him. I'd love him at my club, but you'd have to sort of have to be disappointed. I'd have to have believed that we'd do something like that in the first place. So I think that because I was so dismissive of it from the start, that there's no sort of letdown for me. You know what I mean? If we drop the ball on Gyökeres, I'd be disappointed. You know what I mean? I'm disappointed with Norgard. I'm disappointed with Madueke. But with this, because I never once believed that we were in for him, for the reasons I've said, and for the reason that if we did, it would be such a large chunk out of our transfers that we'd be left even thinner than we are, because we're going into this season very thin. Let's get that very fucking clear. People seem to think that our squad's huge now. We're going to still have to sell 3 or 4 players if we want to get Eze in. We're going to have to sell 3 or 4 players anyway to balance.
Have you sold anyone yet?
No, not one. We've let Tomiyasu go on a free. I can see Fabio Vieira going to Parma. I can see that happening, not for the price that they're quoting, because it's an Italian club and a middle of the road Italian club as well. They don't have much money. But we're after sending the Guerdas over there, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. As in, he's taken after Arteta. He's moving from one club and then taking all the scrubs with him, which hopefully he does. Reece Nelson's looking like a fucking loan again, which I hope Berta just puts his foot down and says it's not a loan, it's a transfer. There's no point loaning him out again. He's only got 2 years left. If we loan him to Fulham for a year, then he comes back. He's only got a year left. You'll end up losing him for next to nothing anyway. But we see our wages are a problem. Reece Nelson's on 100 grand a week. The chap's barely ever played for us. Kivior's on 150 grand a week. So we're getting rid of these players. They're all going to be 7 million, 8 million, 10 million. They're not going to be very much. And regardless of the way, I saw Christian on with Lee and he was saying, oh, look at all the defenders we have. But what he was doing was he was naming, oh, well, Timber can play right back, left back and centre back. So we're covered in there and all that. Yeah, but that means if one player gets injured, then 3 positions are
I was
down.
just
you know what I mean?
Like, that doesn't sound much of a positive thing. I'll be real.
But that's the mentality. That's the mentality of these guys. They were saying then, well, is Norgard better than Jorginho? Is he better? Because then it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. Number one, he's not better than him. Right? He's not better than him. My thing was, would Norgard? I
don't even rate Jorginho, by the way. But
no, me neither. But they're both shit. You see, and that's what Lee was saying. Yeah. We're comparing shit here, so we have to improve as a team. We shouldn't be signing backups. Yeah. We should be signing players that improve us. So, with Arsenal on a transfer window, you have people saying it's the best one we've ever had and all this stuff. Just give me a break. The only position that we've improved is up front, and that's simply because we signed a striker. We could have signed
that's because you haven't signed a striker before 5 years.
We could have signed Jamie Vardy, and it would improve us because he's an actual striker. You know what I mean? So this is the mentality they have, and you know me. I've come out and said it, and repeatedly, and I've said it before the transfer window. I'll say it after it. No matter who we sign, we're finishing outside the top 4 next season. For me, it's a guarantee that we're finishing outside the top 4 next season.
Oh, you don't even think you'll get Champions League football next season?
Oh no, I've said for time that we're finishing. I said we'd be lucky to get 5th. Lucky to get 5th. If he's still in charge at the end of the season, I mean, if he was to get sacked before Christmas, I think a good manager could come in.
I'll be real, bro. I don't think they'll sack him mid-season. I do not think they will.
Oh no, I don't either. It would have to be a total disaster. It would have to be unmitigated disaster, as in we'd have to be in 12th or 13th. You know, and the players would have to start coming out and saying stuff. But the thing is that you know, I just don't see us finishing. We're definitely not finishing ahead of Liverpool. We're definitely not finishing ahead of City. Chelsea are going to sign a keeper. When they do, they're already better than us, by the way. They'll finish ahead of us. Newcastle will finish ahead of us. I think even Villa might, because Villa won't have Champions League this season, so they can rest for the whole group stage of the Europa League. I can see Villa finishing ahead of us. I don't know if that's a definite, but with the other 4, I see them finishing ahead of us. We're falling apart. Like we're falling apart at the seams. But if a new manager was to come in, I've said this before, that we would suddenly have a stacked midfield, because he'd look at our midfield and go, okay, well, here's your starting midfield. And now I have Nwaneri and Skelly, two of the best young midfielders in the country, battling it out to try and get into the team. But with Arteta's manager, that doesn't matter, because he has Nwaneri as a backup winger who he doesn't trust, and Skelly as a left back. So if a new manager comes in, everything looks completely different. If a good manager comes in, everything looks completely different. You know what I mean? The squad suddenly looks better. Even without signing anyone, it looks better. But I have us outside the top 4. For me,
but if you think you'll finish outside the top 4, does that mean that you think that some of your players will get injuries? That your injury record will be just like it was last season? Then?
Oh yeah, I think it'd be worse. I think it's going to be worse.
Oh, even worse.
Our injury record. Yeah. I think it's going to be worse, as in not with the length of each injury, but the players that are coming back. I think minimum 50% of them are going to just repeatedly break down next season. If they don't, they'll just be shadows of what they were.
Yeah, what is it?
Saka's great tree hamstring. Havertz is a great tree hamstring. Gabriel is a great tree hamstring.
That's right.
Timber's gone for surgery now again after the ACL. 4. Ben White came back from surgery. Odegaard apparently needs surgery. And I can see Declan Rice dropping. I can see him being the one that drops first with a big injury from the weight he's carrying. He's going to do twice as much running. That's my only prediction. The other ones, Jesus isn't back till after Christmas from surgery. He's not even back till after Christmas.
Oh yeah, no, he had an ACL. Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Yeah, so he's had 2 or 3 surgeries since he's been here. So the thing is that there's 7, because we got rid of Tomiyasu, so there's 7 that are coming back from surgeries, and then I can see Declan Rice dropping. He had trouble with his back, and then as well Saliba on the second last game of the season did his hamstring and his calf as well, and he doesn't even want to be here. You know what I mean? So with these injuries. Gabriel is coming back because of the summer coming in while he was out. He missed the last 3 months of the season. Then he's got 3 months of the summer. It's a great tree hamstring. And you better believe that if he can walk, Arteta will put him in the first game of the season, right? He'll start.
Timber?
No, Gabriel, right? So he's 6 months equivalent since he's kicked the ball in competitive football. It'll be 6 months. So he'll get thrown in. If he gets a few balls over the top and has to turn at pace, I mean, there's a good chance he could go. Timber won't be ready for the start of the season.
Why do you think this happened? Because your injury record is getting worse every single season, mate. It's getting worse.
Because he doesn't rotate players. Never rotates them. Never. People say, no, he has the squad now to rotate. Won't make a difference. I keep telling them it won't make a difference. He won't do it. Saka played 80-something games.
You don't think it's the medical team? You don't think it's the medical team?
Timber came out, did his interview, said that the medical team told him. They told him that he wasn't fit to play, and he said he'd be fine. He's done it before. He's pushed players back on the pitch. They told him at the start of the last season that Ben White needs a knee operation, but he made him play for the first 3 months of the season while Timber recovered, then gave him an operation.
So he played on a knee. Why would you play him then? So why would you play him then if he needs a surgery?
Because he's a narcissist. Because he's a narcissist. Timber needed surgery at the end of last season, kept playing him. He didn't get a surgery until the day after we went out of the Champions League. He needed it for months.
Talking about Timber, just to back up your point, talking about Timber, yeah, I don't know if it's true, but Lee apparently did a reaction and Yasser came on and translated. Apparently he had done an interview and he had been slagging off for him, and he had been slagging Arteta off for not taking care of players enough, the way
I sent Lee on that interview. Someone said it to me, and it was amazing. We were all stunned that it wasn't covered in the news. Your man African Gooner was on Lee's, and he says, he covered Odegaard's wife are getting married, and he covered Jesus having a baby and all this stuff. And Lee said, "Did you cover the Timber interview?" Oh no, I can't do that. Can't do that. Tom Canton won't cover it. They won't even mention it. They won't cover it because that interview, he says that he couldn't walk before the PSG game. And Mikel said to him, "Oh, you better be ready tomorrow. I need you, Jerry, and I need you." Pushed him back on the pitch. I was at the Fulham game. He had 2 injuries. Then he got an injury in the same foot where he needs an operation. Pushed back out on the pitch. And these things are coming out. But Ben White, Arteta admitted that he needed surgery for 3 months. And these people say, players play injured all the time. Not like this, mate. Not when they need fucking surgery. And these lads are going to come out. They have WhatsApp groups and all these players, man. They'll be saying, "I can't believe he's doing this to us." You know what I mean? Now, Timber one came out. It got covered pretty well. The Arsenal PR team have covered it. But it just takes one reporter with balls to ask him about it next season. I don't think they will. But, they need to ask him. They need to ask him about it. But, he's been doing this for time, playing players on injuries. So, look, Tomiyasu just had to leave. He couldn't.
Do you know what it is? I think Timber is the one if I look at your perspective, he's the one I'm mostly worried about. Then there is another geezer I'm also very worried about. That is Saka. You see, there's a World Cup here coming up now, yeah? And we all see players normally take a bit more precautionary when they go into challenges now, especially in the last month, going into the tournament. do you think the way he has run, because Saka apparently has been on adrenaline as well, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think these players, the likes of Saka, until before I go on to the next thing, do you think these players could drop down a level now into next season? That you won't see the best of them because of them being rushed back or having had all these scars and all these injuries or surgeries that they've had to come back from?
Yeah, well, I think out of both counts where they will be a bit timid about getting injured again, and the fact that when Saka came back, he played like 13 games or something. He looked a shadow of himself. And Arteta said, "Oh, it's all in his head. It's all in his head." Really? Is that 15-inch scar on his leg in his head? That's not in his head, mate. His hamstring, but it's a grade 3 hamstring. It ripped off the bone. Like, the grade 3 hamstring. 3% of hamstring injuries are grade 3. We had three of them last season. So the odds are just, we had 3 of them. 3 grade 3. And there are only 3% of hamstring injuries. Gabriel's tore off the bone, Havertz tore off the bone, and Saka's tore off the bone. It's a really rare hamstring injury. It's the worst hamstring injury you can get, and it's just from fatigue. Arteta was bragging in press conferences about Saka breaking the record for playing the most amount of games in a row for Arsenal. He was bragging about it like it's something to be proud of. That means you flogged the kid. You know what I mean? So with Saka, Michael Owen had the same injury. He was never the same again. You know, players that rely on a burst of pace are never the same again after it. So he relies on a burst of pace, and Gabriel relies on a burst of pace. And if you lose a percentage of your pace from this injury, think how slow Havertz is going to be. You know what I mean? He was already fucking ridiculously slow. Imagine how slow he'll be after his grade 3. Oh, but he's bulked out and he's done this and he's done that. They'll use anything to dress this up. But like I said, out of all the major injuries we've had, at least 50% of them are going to have a season where they're in and out of the team. You know, picking up little niggly injuries because the muscle hasn't healed. And I think Ben White is going to be in and out. And there's a good chance if Ben White isn't fully fit for the start of the season, because Timber's going to be out. I mean, who's going right back? Norgard? You know what I mean? Like, people don't seem to realise the trouble we're in.
He might even play. Do you think the supposed to play Zubimendi there? Because he did that with Party. We did that with Party.
I said that jokingly before, and everybody laughed. And I said, "But seriously, would you not be surprised if he makes him?"
The thing is, you want to make it a joke, but at the same time, what you're saying is, it can actually be very, very true as well. So you don't think this Rodrygo thing? You're saying, and you think if it comes, I was hearing this as well. I think it was Lee. I think Lee told me as well, and I think Aaron even thought that even if Rodrygo was to come, Arteta would ruin him.
He'd ruin him, yeah, he'll ruin Jokeres as well. He's ruined every single attacking player he's had. Saka's numbers, if he played for Madrid or if he played for Barcelona or played for a manager that nurtured his attacking ability, if he played for Slot, his numbers will be through the roof. They'll be through the roof. He's had fantastic numbers for someone that's playing under this restricted manager. But they're still not great numbers, but they would be under someone else. But no, you have Clanton coming out and saying that Arteta has improved every single attacking player. I can't take the guy serious after that. Arteta's ruined every single attacking player. They've all fallen off a cliff under this guy.
I mean, the one player you could argue that he's improved is Gabriel, and that's the defender we're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that was
people are saying Saka, but I think Saka was on the trajectory anyways.
Yeah, Saka's numbers will be a lot higher under a different manager. A lot higher. And he made his debut under Emery as well. People seem to forget that.
Yeah.
It was Emery who brought him through.
And you know what? That leads me on to the perfect thing. You mentioned Emery, yeah? And he was the one who initially brought this guy in, Saliba. And that brings me on to this thing as well. You think the Saliba situation, obviously, you're like Shane, you invest in a lot more in Arsenal. Like, obviously, I join your streams. Yeah, I join Aaron's, I join Lee's, I listen to you, man, in it. Yeah, and I watch the Prem for fun, in it. I'm completely neutral in it. But bro, you're actually Arsenal in it. When it comes to Saliba, do you? Gunnar Souls was saying on Hussam, I don't know if this is true. Anyone who knows, you can go ahead and rectify it for me. I think he said that Saliba's put pen to paper for a new deal. Then I was reading and someone was saying, no, that isn't true. He still hasn't signed a new deal. Do you think he will sign a new deal, or do you think that he's going to wait this season and see what happens and then make a decision, in your opinion?
I think he's already in his head. He's gone. I think he wants to leave. If he signs a new deal, you know what the funny thing is? And I highly rate Saliba. I think he's the closest we have to a world class.
My club loves that guy. They're trying to make him do the trend thing.
And he would suit them well. He'd fit right in at Madrid. He's perfect. He's got the right attitude. He's got the right game. He's good at going forward, and he's also, he stays switched on. So views have a lot of the ball and another team breaks, he's ready for it. He's not going to switch off. I think his head's already gone. We saw him on the last game of the season, and he looked absolutely miserable when they were walking around the pitch, and everybody's saying, "Oh, it's because he's fucking, we didn't win and we didn't that." He was miserable because the day before Dean Howson had signed for youth. That's what I was thinking. That he was thinking, "Oh, my fucking chance is gone now to go to Madrid." I think that's why he looked miserable. I think he would go in a heartbeat, but I don't see Madrid stumping up the money. That's the only thing. I don't see them stumping up the money. But I can see him going to PSG. I can see him going to PSG.
Madrid would like what I'm reading. Madrid want Konate next season on free. Then they want him to run down his thing, or with 1 year left, they can pay less, and then you bring Alaba and Rodrygo away, and then you can bring Højlund, Konate, and Saliba. I know that would be a dream scenario for them.
I think so. I agree. But the only thing is that if this was still Edu, I'd go, what's going to happen is he's either going to run his contract down or they'll get him in a year. But with Berta, I think Berta will cash in if he talks to him and Saliba says, "No, I do want to go," or if he feels like that he's trying to run his contract down, I can see him going, "Right, well, you're going now." But I think that PSG might nick. I have a sneaky feeling PSG might nick in because he'd be thinking now they're known as the best team in the world. They're not the biggest team in the world, of course they're not. But I think that he could be tempted to go there, and he'd fit right in. The funny thing is, if he signs a new contract with Arteta still in charge, I'd lose a little bit of respect for him. I'd actually lose a little bit of respect for him for staying here.
I was just going to say, is that even with you? So, because a lot of people saying that they would say that he's a loser. They've already called Gabriel. A lot of people saying that guy is a loser. He's comfortable. But you don't think so? You think you would do that the same to?
Yeah, I'd feel the same way. Yeah, but Gabriel, I do wonder with Gabriel if he hadn't had this ridiculously serious injury, if he would have signed so quick. I don't know if he would have signed so quick if he hadn't had the grade 3. And now he's thinking, shit, maybe I won't be as good next season, and maybe I won't get my move. I may as well sign a new contract. That's really nitpicking. But with Saliba, I'd lose a little bit of respect for him if he signed a new contract with this manager. If we suddenly got in a Simeone or a fucking Mancini or something, then I'd go, right, now you sign a new contract because now we're going to move up in the world. But with this guy in charge, he's basically signing away the next 4 years of his club career if he does that.
I was hearing something the other day that was basically like the fact that he hasn't signed a new deal when Gabriel did is a sign that he's waiting to see what happens this season. And correct me if I'm wrong, if you agree with this or not. He basically said what I was hearing, that if Arsenal, he's going to wait and see what Arsenal do. If Arsenal do not win anything this coming season, then his head will turn and he would want, and then there is a bigger chance that he leaves the club rather than staying and signing a new deal. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah. No, I think so. I think that I think he's definitely weighing up his options. We know how football works. Madrid have been in his ear. PSG have probably been in his ear to sort of test the waters and see if a move is possible. And everybody's got a price. If he turns around to Arsenal and says, "Look, the PSG tell him we're going to bid for you tomorrow," if he turned around and said to Arsenal, "Look, I'm going to leave," they'd have to sell him. There'd be no point keeping him. I've always said that if a player wants to leave, just sell them.
Would you get rid of him for one more year?
If he didn't want to be here, I'd get rid of him on the spot. Yeah. If I owned the club, if I was running the club and he came to my office and said, "Look, I want to leave," I'd go, "Right, well, we're selling you then. There's no point having you. There's no point having a player that doesn't want to be there. You're never going to get 100% out of him, especially World Cup year. He's definitely going to not be. Yeah, the second half of the season, he's going to lay off a bit because he's pretty much not a certainty for France, but he'd be one of their main players. So he would have to play well. But there's no point. How can a dressing room work with a player that doesn't want to be there? I don't understand it. But again, if Arteta can try and make a dressing room work with a guy that they bailed out of prison 7 times and keep that under wraps, then I'm sure he can. You know what I mean? But I've always said that. I've finished reading David Dean's book, and he was saying that like when Anelka came to him and said, or his brother said that he wants to leave, he said he just knew it was Madrid that were coming in for him. You know what I mean? Turned around to Arsenal, and Wenger said, "There's nothing. We're not going to be able to stop this. You know what I mean? You just have to let him go. There's no point."
I was actually, I was actually listening from Fabrizio. He was saying that Madrid wants, and this summer will be difficult because Arsenal will outprice the move. But it was like he basically said on one of his podcasts, "Watch out for next season. If the contract isn't signed, then you will see Madrid going in. Because let's say Xabi still the manager for next season. He wants to have this back 3 that he has. And then he would like Konate next to Hoyce, and then if he can, he would bring Saliba, play alongside them too. Then you've got them three in the back line, and that's one hell of a back. I think even you can.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then you've got Chouameni, as a DM covering it. Yeah, the club would like them three to be the ideal three centre back partnership. So that is, and he was like Madrid being in his has complicated talks over a new deal to a degree, and all that. The question is can Arteta do something to change his mind? That is the question.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. The only way his head gets turned, I suppose, to staying, because I believe it's already turned to leaving, is a new manager. I think that would be the only way that it would change for him. And even then, I don't think it would. I think once your heart's in any walk of life, once your heart is set on something, it's very hard to turn it back. I suppose money does talk, but we're not going to pay him more than Madrid will be able to pay him. You know what I mean? If you have Alaba on what's he on? 400 grand a week or something? Yeah,
400 grand. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you do have the money, but I'd say Saliba just wishes Madrid would pay it now. I don't think he wants to be here at all, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't blame him. That's the thing. I don't blame him.
I was just gonna, that was gonna be my question. Yeah, I was just gonna ask you: would you blame Saliba if he was one to leave next? If he says no, I want to go.
I wouldn't blame any. Wouldn't blame any of our players. Wouldn't blame any of our players. People were saying about Wanyeri. AFC TV started laying the groundwork, saying, "Oh, this kid at this age demanding football and demanding this." Before he signed the contract, they were laying the groundwork. If he leaves, then Arteta won't get the blame, that the player will. If I was saying, geez, if I was Wanyeri, I would leave. I'd leave. I hope he goes out on loan. I really do, because he's not going to play any football under this manager next season. I'd love him to go.
Yeah, I heard he was going to be the backup to Odegaard, and apparently then Eze, if you buy him, he's going to be for that left wing,
ridiculous.
Again, do you think the managers put that thing there, or do you think that's just a club way of thinking?
No, the fact that the rumours, when Sky are even talking about Eze, they say, "Oh, Arsenal are going for left winger Eze." You know what I mean? That they've already started wording it that way. But apparently he sees Madueke as a left winger. The guy started 7 games at the left last season, scored 0 and assisted 0. Sees him as a left winger. Of course he does, because he has to tweak it just a little bit. But the thing with Wanyeri is, number one, Arteta doesn't trust him in the 10. And when Odegaard was out last season, he didn't play there once. He didn't play Wanyeri there once, except in the League Cup, and he balled out, by the way. And when he was late for training, and I've always said, of course he was late for training, because if he was late for training, I mean, he could turn up early for training every day, leave late every day, and Odegaard will still start ahead of him, and he knows this. There's no incentive for Wanyeri to ball out. There's none, because he comes on. He scored more than Odegaard last season. He assisted more than Odegaard last season, and he played about 10% of the minutes Odegaard did. So why is it? Of course, he should be saying, "I want more football. I want this."
Jane, I told your fans this when you bought him from my club. I told them, bro, we robbed you. You guys scammed, and bro, they didn't want to listen. But
they still don't. They still don't.
Nah. But that's because. But you don't think he'll drop Odegaard? No chance.
Never. I don't think there's any way he drops him. No way he drops him. Look at him at the end of last season. Not only was he terrible, apparently he's needed an operation for time as well. He was getting painkilling injections, right? So, number one, he could have rested him for his sake. He should have rested him because he should have been playing Wanyeri. He didn't even bring Wanyeri on in the second leg against PSG when we were completely out of ideas.
I found that
there was nothing left to lose.
Yeah, you needed a goal as well.
You need someone that's going to come on and change the game. He's the only player.
But this is what I found interesting. You see the emergency meeting that was after the game, the second leg against PSG, and I think it was Igal. He said, "We've not played a 3 at the back ever," or something like that. So you can't switch the whole thing up in thing. I actually made a comment. If I was on the stream, I was just going to tell you this as well, in case you in the chat don't even know. Smash these likes up as well, people. Come on, and subscribe to me and subscribe to Shane, man. Come on, get the things up. Do you know what it was? Apparently, he had been saying that, from what I remember, Roma Barcelona 2018 second leg. All right, they were 4-1 down. He changed the whole formation to a back 3. Yeah, something that he's never done before. The manager of Roma. And they ended up winning 3-0, beating the mighty Barca with Messi and Suarez in their prime there as well. So that goes to show when you do changes, what a proper manager does. If you can make changes like that, it can make impacts like that can get this big. So my question: why would you then rather? And I was hearing from Potts on his show that Ethan had been late for training. That's why he was being punished. And I understand to a degree. Yeah, you should never come late to train. It's like when you show up at work. You don't show up late. You have to come in time. I get it, but do you think it was justified that he was punished that much and when you guys were in such desperation for a goal that he never brought him on once? They didn't even bring him on. They kept being on the bench. Because I found that really weird. I can't lie.
No, it's craziness. And that was only ever rumours that he was late for training as well. We don't know what it was. I saw him getting bollocked against Brentford because he didn't come sprinting back and Arteta was all over him and then he subbed him off. Even if he was late for training, right? Even if he was late for training, he's fucking 17, man. You need to, yes, you bring him into the next training session, you bollock him in front of the other players, you make him do a few laps, fine him a week's wages, and then you move on. Because you can't he punished him for months for that. For months. Against Liverpool. Game meant nothing. 2-2. He brings on Kieran Tierney at the right. Leaves him on the bench, still punishing him all the time after we've gone out. The Madrid game. Wanyeri got us through a lot of Champions League games when Saka was out. The Madrid game, it was 4-1 on aggregate with 10 minutes left. Madrid aren't coming back. We're at the Bernabeu. Bring Wanyeri on. Let him soak it up. Let him soak up the Bernabeu for a while. Let him enjoy it. No. Didn't bring him on. PSG, he was the only player that could have changed the game. No, it didn't change. And you're right about changing the formation. And people, Gal can say, oh, well, we never played that. Well, he won an FA Cup playing that. He won an FA Cup playing 3 at the back because he was still using Emery's fucking team. And also, it's not like all the players are going to go, oh, what's going on here? What's this formation? You have weeks to train. You can train with 3 at the back. You know what I mean? And these are professional footballers. Some of them play a 3 at the back of their country. Some of them, you know what I mean? Kieran Tierney does for a start. He plays 3. He plays left side of centre back for Scotland in a 3. Timber does often for Holland as well. There's ways that this sort of nonsense that certain things just, well, Arsenal can't do that. We're not allowed to do that and then all the excuses come out. Well, we can't do that. Other teams do it all the time. Mate. What are you talking about? Oh, well, we can't play with a number 9. It doesn't. Why can't we? Oh, you can't do this. You can't do. Give me a fucking break, man. It's always just. It's different. Oh well, you can't
Excuses.
do your transfers until the first. You can't do your transfers. Everybody else.
You see that as an excuse?
It's all excuses. Everything with this club is an excuse. Everything with this club is an excuse. That's what these guys are. That's what these guys are given access for. That's what these so-called fans like Canton and Semiu and all. They're out there. That's their job. As Matty says, they're peddling hope. They peddle hope. They keep telling people it's going to be okay. Because people are so weak-minded these days that they need to be told that everything's fine all the time. So that's why these guys.
I'll take Ethan in Madrid. I can't lie. I'll take him.
He'd ball out at anywhere. I've said it before. If he had to come through the Barcelona ranks.
No, I genuinely would take him. I think he's a baller.
He's the best young player I've seen come through Arsenal in my time, and I include Saka in that. He's the most.
Do you know what? I think against Brighton, when it ended 1-1, he scored the opening goal. Brighton away. I was watching that game. Yeah, I think you even remember that game as well. Yeah, last season. Yeah, he scored that one when then Joao Pedro got that penalty that he scored. Ever since then, I know he got hooked up because he got an injury. Oh, shock. Because that manager's apparently done something stupid to him. But I think after that, the way he's treated him after that was, for me personally, Shane, the way he was treated after that, I think was wrong. Because he was showing promise. I can't lie. Every time I see him, he shows promise. He shows that he's got something in him. Do you get me?
Yeah.
I think he would do better as 10 for you guys next season than Odegaard. Me personally.
He's already better than him in the 10. He's already a better player than Odegaard is in the 10. It's not a matter of he will be. He's already better than him. He's already much better than him. And the thing is, in that Brighton game as well, just to add to that, Ethan got booked in the first half. The first half for time wasting, right? He got booked in the first half for time wasting going to a corner. There's no 17-year-old that wants to slow the game down unless they're being told to. Unless they're being made do it.
I've never heard of that before, by the way.
He got booked for taking the corner.
I've never heard of that before.
32nd minute got booked for wasting time. Right? So this manager, people say, oh, the refs are against us. No. You're making these players do this. Because if you keep breaking the rules, sometimes you get punished, mate.
You think it's Arteta making these instructions?
Of course he is. It's all down to him. It's all down to him. All this dark arts is down to him. So when all these top gooners start saying, all the refs' decisions last season, right, but that's the fault of the manager. The manager caused all these. He tells the players to slow down. You can see him when they're going for throws. Stop. We're taking the whole corner routine where the Gabriel runs out to slow down and talks to the other guy and then comes back. This is all pre-rehearsed. So you can't get upset. We should have got more bookings and sendings off than we got last season. We should have got a lot more than we did. And people say we got too many. We should have got a lot more. We were cheating every single minute of the game. How can a 17-year-old, you have to slow them down. You have to stop them taking the corner too quick because they just want to play. They just, and especially a sort of a genius like Ranieri, he just wants to, like he's like that Ronaldinho about him, where he just wants to be out there playing football. So for him to have to slow down to waste time in the first half, that's being severely coached into.
Do you think the players get frustrated by this?
Nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to play that way. Nobody wants to play that way. You know what I mean? Unless you're Italian. Italians enjoy that side of it. And not much even that part of it. The Italians enjoy the chess side of it, of out maneuvering your opponents with mental games and stuff like that. And great, they're brilliant at it. But we're just dirty. There's a big difference of just being dirty and sly and stuff like that. And then whinging when you get caught. You know what I mean? It's like a kid who steals all the time, and then you catch them and get them a clip around the ear, they start crying. You go, hang on, mate, you got away with it 10 times. You were going to get caught sooner or later. So when he's whinging about red cards and stuff, we bring it all on ourselves. And he's the one telling them to do it. They all have to slow the game down. You know, I saw Ben White give him a look one of the games at the end of last season. Arteta bollocked him for something on the sideline. And you can see Ben White just looking at him with just hatred, just you fucking prick. And I think Arteta thinks that fear of being dropped or whatever, because they don't fear him as a man, because he's a 5 foot nothing fucking dweeb, you know what I mean? But they fear the power he has because he can drop them and he can, do that. Yeah. But, Ferguson was feared, but the players respected him. The players saw him as a father figure. Arsene Wenger, Henry and Ian Whitenail just still call him boss. They look at him like he's their dad. They feared him as a manager, but they respected him. Where Arteta, a lot of people get respect mixed up. They say, oh yeah, they think that command and respect is the same as demand and respect. But the demand and respect is just a teacher that is shit coming in and expecting you all to listen to him when he's shit.
Yeah.
But a good teacher commands respect because they come in and you go, I respect this guy, what he does. Where Arteta gets it all mixed up. But he will get found out next season. The pressure's growing on him. If Gyökeres's numbers fall off a cliff, questions will be asked. And
you went to my last question from the show. It was going to be about this, actually. I know I've seen he plays for a national team. I've seen how this guy is. He scores a lot of goals on the counter, and when I say that, I mean he usually has lots of space used in. I can tell you something right now for free, and again, I don't need to watch Sporting a lot to understand, because I've seen this even in my national team when I watch my national team play. He's not good with his head. He is not good with his head at all. I was going to ask you, how excited are you by this signing, and how do you think he's going to do at your club under this manager and going forward?
I'm excited because it's an actual striker, right? I'm excited because it's an actual striker. Do I think his numbers will fall off a cliff? Yes, I do. He'll take penalties. I'm sure that's in his contract, but we don't get many penalties because we're never in the box, right? Or just passing around outside or whipping balls in. We don't get many penalties. We're not like Liverpool. Liverpool get a rake of penalties because they're always in the box. They're always in the box and running at players. He likes the ball played through the middle. It's not wingers that you need for him. It's number 10s. Who's playing the ball through to him? Someone said to me, Odegaard finally has someone to make runs for him. Oh, right. So at Norway, he doesn't have players to make runs. He doesn't have Haaland.
He's got Haaland. He's got Haaland.
And he's got Storlath as well. You know what I mean? He's got players to make runs for.
Unpopular opinion, Shane. Unpopular opinion. I think Ethan will be better to be behind Gyökeres than Odegaard, personally.
Without a shadow of a doubt. If I was manager, if I came in, the first thing, my first order of business, and this is the God's honest truth, my first order of business would be to call Ethan into the office and say, I'm building the team around you next season. I'm building the team around you next season. That's how much I think of it. But that's why it really hurt me to say that I wouldn't blame the guy if he left, because I've seen some good young players come through in my time. I've been a fan of Arsenal for nearly 40 years. I've seen some top young players come through. I think I have a potential that Ethan is the highest of all of them by a country mile, and I include Saka in that. He's got the chance or the ability to go right to the top for me, to go right to the top, to be playing for a Barcelona or a Madrid or something like that and be the main guy. I think that's how much I think of him. But with Gyökeres, yeah, he needs balls played through the middle. Who's going to play them? Rice, Odegaard, Norgard? Or you know what I mean? They're not going to be playing him through. With a low block, he's going to get frustrated. He's going to get really frustrated.
People are talking about Zubimendi, but
he's playing in the 6, though. He's playing in the 6.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And Zubimendi is not that type of a guy as well.
He's not that type of player. But the people that say that don't watch him. The people that they've used Zubimendi in FIFA.
The average Premier League fan does not watch La Liga. I know that actually.
I watch quite a lot of it.
No. I know you do. Like when you say I can take your opinion serious, why? Because you actually watch my league. But
I do. I watch a lot of football. But yeah, these are the fans.
You've got this guy. The guy that your fans are raving about, this Mosquera guy. But I don't think, bro, someone was saying, he's a right side thing. No, he's not. He's a left.
Left centre back,
yeah. But again, what is it sends a clear signal out. They don't watch it. They don't watch it.
They get fed it from these other channels. I put up a comment today on my stream. It was AFTV had done a short, and Robbie Loyal was talking about it's the best transfer window we've ever had in the Premier League and all that sort of stuff, right? Selling hope again to these people, peddling hope. And someone commented saying, Robbie, 2 weeks ago you didn't even know who Mosquera was, right? But then someone answered to that. One of the guys that watches AFTV said, yeah, neither did I, right? I didn't know who he was 2 weeks ago. Seems like a good signing, though. So you didn't even know who he was 2 weeks ago, yet you think it's a good sign. How can you think it's a good signing if you didn't even know? That
doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. But they've been told that it's a good signing by these channels, so that's what they go with. So they do whatever they say. But the thing is,
that guy, it's just one bad injury to his hamstring. If he loses his pace, there's nothing left.
He's all pace, and he needs his pace because he gets caught out on the ball quite often, or he gets caught out of position. That's why he needs his pace. Saliba's quick. He rarely ever has used his pace though. Saliba's very quick. He just rarely.
Again, that guy is actually a good defender because he knows how to position himself well.
That's why. And then I heard Simiu saying today, I judge a defender by the variety of ways he can win the ball back. If he has a big variety of ways he can win the ball back, he's a good defender. And I was going, no, it's the opposite, mate. It's the opposite. Van Dijk, Maldini, Tony Adams. All these top defenders, they only had one or two ways of winning the ball. They didn't need any. Yeah. If you need 6 or 7 different ways to win the ball back, that means you have six or 7 different ways that you get caught out of position, or that you have players getting around you that you need to keep adjusting. Top defenders like Maldini rarely got dirty. They rarely got mud on them because they didn't need to. You know what I mean? They read the game well, or they stepped in when they need to step in. The defenders that come off the pitch filthy, dirty, they've been throwing themselves around because they keep getting caught out of position. And
I think and just to back up your point, I think Musadi makes a good point. I think the reason why people are doing this is because they're basing off his is because of his performance in the Spain national team. But then she also writes here that they forgot that there's players like Pedri, other players there that they're Hoyson and these guys. They will elevate you to another level. Because they make people. But no disrespect him, but you guys don't have players of that quality in your squad, and that's not me trying to be disrespectful or anything, but. I just don't see you guys having players on that caliber level to raise.
We don't at all. That's why I was saying about Zubamendi. The first few games of the season, he should have been brought in while we still have close to a first choice number 6 there, right? And he should have been brought in. And the first 6-7 games of the season, he's on the bench. Zubamendi's on the bench. Yeah, you bring him on for 20 minutes, you get him used to the pace. Bring him on when you're winning, play him in the League Cup, and then. By the end of the season, he's your starter. By the end of the season, he's your starter. People forget that when Rodri came in, he was getting bullied. Rodri was getting bullied when he first came over. He was getting subbed off. He was getting dropped for games. He was getting rested, pulled out of the firing line because they still had Fernandinho there. Fernandinho was able to come in. Rodri didn't look great. People were going, oh, God, he's not brilliant. But we don't have time for that. So we saw Zubamendi against United in the Europa League. Casemiro bullied him. They high-pressed him and they bullied him, right? Absolutely bullied him. So when we play at Old Trafford in the first game of the season, you can be certain that Amarin will tell his players, the second Raya gets the ball, Zubamendi's going to come short. He's going to roll.
Apparently, Mbeumo bid has been accepted now. Apparently, the third
70 million or something like that. But the second Zubamendi gets the ball, for the first few games of the season, he's going to be swamped. The other teams are going to swamp him the second he gets the ball. And then we have Leeds at home who will do the same. And then Liverpool away, the best high press in
I think that will be your key. That will be one of your keys. I think if Zubamendi does not perform well, if your DM does not do well, then I think your system will be kind of destroyed.
That's what he's not. He gets caught out a few times early in the season and the pressure builds on him. He might not recover from it. If the press get on his back, he's lost the ball if it leads to a goal. And you can be sure that every manager will say, this is the main thing you do in this game is swamp.
And I'm not saying he's a bad player, by the way, because I like Zubamendi, but
he needs someone beside him. Royce is going to have to do twice as much running to cover for this guy.
I would not be. You know what? Unpopular opinion. I would not be shocked if he pulls a hamstring or gets.
That's all I said. I've called Royce being the first. I've said it. I keep saying it so people know. I've said he will be the first one to go down with it. He'll pull up with a hamstring or his back will go or something like that, or an ACL. He'll be the first one to go with a big injury. I think he has too much running to do next season.
Because it's like you said, you don't, and the players have to hit the ground running. Brandon said himself, and I think you even agree. I think you even said it right just now. They need to hit the ground running like that.
Like several of them,
because you need to win now. Several, and even the players are coming back from surgeries, having scars and all that, not being fully fit. They need to do it. They need to recover because, in your opinion, before we wrap up, for you, just winning a cup or a domestic double is not enough anymore. He has to win one of the major ones.
No. You see, listen, if I was getting pelters, me and DJB said near the end of last season, while we were still in the Champions League, we both said, even if he wins the Champions League, I want him sacked. I mean, it's gone for me. He can't turn it around. He can't turn it around.
Yeah, that's Madrid standards. Yeah, you're talking Madrid standards now.
Yeah, but that's what he is. It's too far gone for him. So even if he flukes a cup, it doesn't change what we can see. We can see the high wage. We can see the terrible football. We can see the unhappy players. We can see the endless injuries. And he won't win a cup either because he bins off both domestic cups. He bins them off. They're not important to him. And anything that involves a semi-final, he's done. He can't handle them. One goal in the last 7 semi-final matches, man. One single goal we've gotten in 7 semi-final matches. He can't handle them. And the league, like I said, we're pushing outside the top 4. Next season's going to be an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster. And
I've seen your schedule. Yeah, I've seen it, and when you include Champions League and League Cup and FA Cup games in, boy, oh boy, it looks really bad. But like you said, but before we wrap up, then one last question: if you finishes second again or third, and he goes to a quarter or semi in the Champions League and he loses, do you think the club will keep him, or do you think they'll sack him?
Sadly, I think they'll keep him. I think they'll keep him. It depends. You see, I think at this stage they're just going by what they think if the crowd will turn or not. And sadly, I think the 90% of top gooners out there will stay 90% no matter what happens. They're in love with the manager now. It's gone that point where it is like a cult. It's gone to the point where it's like a cult, where they get on board even more now. They're really defending him. And until the whole crowd turns, the only way to get rid of him will be money, i.e. not getting Champions League or like an absolute disaster. But there's some people that think he'll be gone by Christmas. You know what I mean? I'm like you. I don't see him getting sacked mid-season. I really don't. We'd have to be in 15th or something like that. We'd have to really fallen off. But we could be, I think we could be 8-9 points behind Liverpool and City after 7-8 games with our fixtures.
And I'll be real, the longer he's there, I feel some of your good players, the Salibas, because let's be honest, it ain't just him who hasn't signed a new deal yet. Even Saka, I keep telling some of my Arsenal fans that, bro, even he's not signing a new deal yet. That was the one I expected to do.
Harry Kane. Doesn't want to do a Harry Kane, man. And I wouldn't blame him.
I'm starting to, I keep telling man that, bro, I told Igal this as well, bro, if you keep this guy in for way too long, bro, some of these players will want to be, or heads will be completely gone, and then it's going to be too late to save them, innit? And I said to Gal, you can't afford to lose someone like a Saliba or a Saka, because then it's going to be very, very hard to replace them. It's going to be really hard to replace them. So, yeah, man. But I think that'll be it then, Shay, man. We'll wrap up here, man. What you got coming up, brother?
I've obviously the full Irish tomorrow at 10:30 every morning. Have the bruised banana tonight, and that's really it. I'm sure I'll be in and around streams, but absolute pleasure coming on, man.
You're always welcome.
An absolute gent.
Yeah, hold on.
Big up to the legendary chat as well, man. Big up to the legendary chat.
Come on, big up the chat, man.
Make sure you're subbing to me and him. Make sure you're subbing to both of us. We're out here doing the Lord's work, man.
Yeah, come on. We're on. Yeah, I'm 12 away from 200, man. I think Shane, how many were you trying to reach now? 2,500 now, yeah?
No, I'm on 1,300 something, so 2,000. The next one.
All right, so 2,000. All right, well, get it up to 1,000. Then we'll get up to 2,000 people. Come on, get it up, then, man. All right, Shane, always a pleasure, brother. Yeah, and I think I will see you. I might see you on Aaron's thing on Friday, then. Yeah, on the calling show, possibly if you're there.
I might be. I might pop in for a while. I normally do pop in for a bit.
Yeah, then I'll see you then over there then at that time. Yeah. People, big up, smash the likes up, subscribe, hit the notification bell while you go out. And man, I'll see you people tomorrow in. I'll do a video, I'll do a live stream. We'll see what happens. But yeah, make sure you follow Shane, man. He's a top lad. And yeah, man, he knows his stuff, man. I want to bring on real ones on here as well.
That's it.
Now. Come on. People, take care. Goodbye. And I'll see you next time. Adios. Ciao.